We had a look at Montys, and the plan is to head back down the river and anchor up just inside the mouth tonight. I'll find a sandy beach so I can get pip ashore, and then we'll leave on the high tide tomorrow morning and head to Bribie. But we're just waiting for a bit of tide. I think we've got another hour and a half to 2 hours to wait before we've got enough water to get over the shoals just before Beachmere. Anyhow, we're anchored up, just enjoying a nice sunny day. We just skipped out of the Caboolture River, down about 1.7, another low tide in the morning, but not much water there, but it's a lot shallower upstream. We've just plotted a course in for Bongaree, and about an hour and 10 minutes I think. So I think I better get busy and dry the boat off. It's a very dewy morning this morning and everything's pretty wet, so I'll dry the old girl off. Gives her a bit of a wash too. Anyway, pleasant day again to be out and heading to Bongaree. Well, we just walked up the northern end of Bongaree. There's an IGA up here, so we're just heading up there now. A little bit of a walk from where I anchored the boat. I usually anchor straight out from it, but just for somewhere different, I've anchored up the other end of the jetty this time around. So we'll go up and do a bit of shopping, and I'll show you a few more of the sights around Bongaree. Most important thing, breakfast and a cappuccino. Well, there's a great public pontoon at Bongaree. Good spot for tying up the dinghy if you want to come ashore, and it puts you pretty well in the middle of town. You've got all services here, IGA, plenty of coffee shops, library, museum, club. Lots of things for you to visit if you're anchored in Bongaree, and it's a great anchorage, really sandy, good holding, and not far offshore. Pretty sheltered. The only wind it doesn't like is a strong southeaster, so anything over 10 knots or 15 from the southeast, it gets pretty uncomfortable here. But in anything else, and the weather we got now, perfect. The weather's been so good at Bongaree, nothing over about 5 or 6 knots, dead flat at the moment, and it's looking pretty good for Friday. It's supposed to go around to the southwest, southeast, I think, about 10 to 15, so that'll be good for a bit of a skip up the coast to Mooloolaba. But we're having a good time here. I love this spot, as long as there's no southerlies. Cool morning again. A little bit of wind up this morning. It's gone around to the south, so it's a little bit ordinary in here, but we're just getting ready to go now. We're going to head down around the end of Bribie and then up to Mooloolaba. So this bit of wind will be good once we get down around the corner. It's just about high tide. I think it's about another half an hour till high tide, so we're going to leave now. When the tide turns, it'll probably make it a bit choppy in here, so we'll get down the corner before the tide turns and then ride it up to Mooloolaba. Probably about a 3 or 4 hour trip. Should be good. Be good to be out at sea again. Anyway, we'll get ready to go. A little bit ordinary, just punching out of Pumicestone Passage into the wind, but when we get round the point here, we'll get this wind from behind and it'll be a lot more comfortable. So a little bit of hard work just getting out of here, but the run up the coast should be nice. Poor old Pip's not enjoying it much. She hates it when it's like this, but when we get turned around, she'll settle down all right and have a nice sleep. Well, a fair wind and a fine ship. It's good to be back out at sea again. It's been a few months. We've got a 10 to 15 knot southeaster blowing from behind very gently, giving us probably about half a knot. But the sea's calm, the water's clean, the air's clean. I just love being out here. There's nothing like it. We're just coming up on Caboolture now. Caboolture headland. I've got the glassies off to our port side, and I can just see the high rises at Mooloolaba in the distance. So we're going to be up there about 2 o'clock this afternoon. Well, we just passed Caboolture and that's Mooloolaba. You can see up in front of us. Been running a bit square downwind for most of the trip, and I've been jibing the sail across just to keep keep it full. But I've had about 3 jibes, which is a little bit of a exercise on my own, but you get it done all right. And in light winds, it's pretty easy to handle it. So I think we're on our last jibe now, and we'll reach the headland there on this point of sail with the sail on that side. So it's all good, and we're picking up a good half a knot, I'd say, with the sail. So even in light winds it does a little bit, long as it's enough to fill it. Anyway, you just got to love being out here in these conditions. Look out, there's humpbacks about. Mooloolaba Marina, what a great place to stop. The marina is close to everything. Restaurants, coffee, shopping. One of the best things I think is you can walk 1 minute across the road and you're on a fantastic surf beach. The staff are friendly, the amenities are great. It's a great spot to spend a night or a week or even longer. So next time you're travelling down the coast, stop into Mooloolaba Marina. You'll be glad you did. Well, I'm just doing a few engine room checks, just checking all my fluid levels and making sure everything's right down here. Today the wind's gone around to the south a bit, but tomorrow looks like the day to be heading up to Wide Bay Bar. It's going around to the southwest, probably around 15 knots I think, so it should be a pleasant day for the 10-hour trip up to the Wide Bay Bar. So just making sure the engines are right. When I finish here, I'm just going to go up and do a bit of shopping, and then we'll be pretty right to go. Well, there's some great walking paths in Mooloolaba. You can walk up the shops really easily, but when you're doing a shop and it's a little bit heavy, I walked up probably about 3 k's and got a cab back, cost $10. So yeah, there is some nice walks along the paths here, but the shops are, or the Coles supermarket is probably about 3 k's away. Anyway, keeps you fit. This should be enough tucker for the next 2 or 3 weeks, so we're in good shape. Well, Pier 33 at the marina. What a great spot for a venue, but what a great spot to have a beer, and that's exactly what I'm going to do right now. Lovely morning to be at sea. We crossed the bar at Mooloolaba at about 4 o'clock, and we're having a lovely little motor sail in about 10 to 15 knots of southwester at the moment, so it's quite flat out here. We'll be at the Wide Bay Bar at 1500 this afternoon, and should have a pretty calm crossing if the conditions stay like this. The seminar at Mooloolaba went really well. We had about 20 people attend. They all had a great time, got good reports on it, so it's good. And we're looking forward to doing the next one up at the boat club in Hervey Bay. But we'll have a bit of a look around the sandy Strait before we get there. I don't have to be there till the 26th, so plenty of time to have a bit of a poke around in the sandy Strait. We're just passing Noosa now. We've made pretty good time to here. It's about 10 to 8. So we've been probably averaging about 5.5, 6 knots. And the wind's picked up a little bit and it's giving us a bit more of a lift now, so it's pretty good. We'll be up at Double Island Point in about another 5 hours. So it's 12:51, 1 o'clock, so we're a bit ahead of time, which is good. Anyhow, the wind stays like this, it's just pretty nice actually running with it. It's just a good breeze. We're around Double Island Point and just come inside Wolf Rock, and we're heading over to waypoint number 1 on the Wide Bay Bar. It's going to be a pretty easy crossing. I think the weather conditions are quite calm. Anyway, another hour we'll be on the first waypoint, so we'll call up Tin Can Bay, tell them we're coming in, and probably anchor up in Pelican Bay for the night. We're just heading for waypoint 1. We're crossing the bar now really, and it's pretty flat. The southwest are blowing and it's just blowing the swells off, and there's not really any sea on the bar at all, so we'll get in quite easily this afternoon. It's good. I was going to try and do the fisherman's gutter, which is right over against the beach, and it shortens it up a lot. And there was a sailing cat followed us around Double Island Point, and he's doing it right now, so it'll be interesting to see if he gets in. I thought it might have been, the tide might have been a little bit low, because we're about 3 hours off the high tide. I just wasn't going to risk it, but anyway, he looks like he's going to get through okay, and he'll beat us by probably half an hour. So it's always good to do that if you've got the local knowledge. But anyway, we'll have a pleasant trip across, and we'll be anchored up in Pelican Bay tonight. It's been a great trip. Looking forward to a beer. We got across the bar all right, but this wind's straight out of the west, and we're trying to find somewhere to get out of it. So we're heading up Carey Inlet. Haven't been up here for a long while, but we'll sneak up. I just hope there's a little bit of sand to get pipper shore. See how we go.